Jets suck. You know, I've been a very big Jets fan since I was maybe in 5th or 6th grade, and I've wasted a lot of years of my life watching them lose year after year, breaking my heart. If you're a New York Jets fan like myself, you know what I'm talking about. But today we're going to be talking about Joe Namath and his pact with the devil, and why the New York Jets will never win a Super Bowl again. And that's why I don't bother watching the Jets, because I know they're not going to win. Until Joe Namath himself passes away, the New York Jets will never win a Super Bowl. So don't get your hopes up about the 2024-2025 season, folks. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, so I remember being 19 or 20 years old, and I was watching the NFL Network. I was in college, and I remember I was eating lunch at my parents' house. I had a break between classes, so I was eating lunch, and I was watching the NFL Network. And this very interesting series was on called Curses of the NFL, and the Jets came in at number 6. And I remember this one stood out to me, of course, because I'm a Jets fan. Now, the funny thing about that time period is I was not awake. It wasn't until I was 20 that I started to ask questions, things like that. By the time I was 21, I was pretty attuned to stuff that was going on. But without further ado, I'm going to show you this clip from the documentary itself, where Joe Namath even admits that he made a pact with the devil to win that Super Bowl. And in exchange, the Jets will never win one again, essentially. As long as he's alive, I believe, is how the pact goes. But without further ado, let's get into Mr. Joe Namath.
Joe's deal with the devil.
So do I believe that Joe Namath actually boozed with the devil? That is just awesome.
If anybody's going to make a deal with the devil, it was number one Joe Namath.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee it.
Joe Namath had a conversation with the devil right before that Super Bowl, and he said, "Devil, if you give me this championship, you don't have to give the Jets anything else for the rest of my life."
I would never recommend making a deal with the devil, because literally you're going to have hell to pay.
And why all of a sudden that's becoming evil in me, I don't know.
While contract negotiations are nothing new in the NFL, our number 6 football curse involves a deal between Broadway Joe Namath and the Prince of Darkness.
And I could feel the heat coming from that chair. He was seething. You know, I get goosebumps talking about it now. And you know what? I agreed with him. I agreed with everything he said. He was right.
With Satan in his corner, Namath defeated the heavily favored Baltimore Colts and was named Super Bowl MVP, despite not throwing a single pass in the fourth quarter.
He had to make a deal with the devil. I mean, there's really no other way.
Jet fans still swear that Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil to beat the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III.
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions.
Jets haven't won anything since then. So you tell me there's not a curse.
The Jets had their first Super Bowl title, but over the next 4 decades, they would experience hell on earth.
I can't imagine a poor performance by a New York Jet team.
If you're a Jet fan, you have to approach every season this way. Expect the worst, you're never disappointed.
Because we're not allowed to win. We actually bring Tim Tebow in here, and he doesn't even get on the field. That's God's son.
Our God is an awesome God.
We're the only franchise in America that would bring Jesus himself in and not use the guy.
All right, thank y'all. God bless.
So I guess at some point Satan is going to come and claim Joe Namath's soul.
At 70 years old, Joe Namath is taking care of himself and living well, while the Jets are stuck in football purgatory thanks to the number 6 football curse of all time.
And a mix-up in the backfield. Sanchez, has the ball, down he goes.
If Joe Namath really did make a deal with the devil, then sign me up too, because he's had a pretty darn good life, and he also got a Super Bowl out of this whole thing.
They have upset the Baltimore Colts and beat them handily here today.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Joe Namath came right out of his mouth, and he told you that he made a pact with the devil. He's admitting it. I mean, he told you about it. So Moral of why I'm showing you guys this is, one, that there's a spiritual component to this world. And make no mistake about it, you're professional athletes, not just celebrities, politicians, or famous people, banking people, media people, military people. It goes in your professional athletes as well. You see, there's a huge spiritual component to the world that a lot of us don't see, that's been hidden from us. And you'll see it in the NFL with the teams that win the Super Bowls every year, with certain famous athletes that come out and promote, getting a jab, kind of like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, that whole thing, that whole mess, right? Where Travis Kelce's like this cool football player dating Taylor Swift, but yet he's promoting all this, stuff that we could call liberal, or I guess we can call propaganda. Ultimately, I mean, he's getting the jab, stuff like that. He's showing pictures of it. He's endorsing it. Taylor Swift is obviously very liberal, but I don't even want to get into those two, okay? Because they're irrelevant. I'm trying to make a point that professional athletes are used in the same way as someone like Drake. He's right there on my screen. As someone like Eminem, Justin Bieber, someone like Joe Biden, Trump, the bankers, the international bankers. They're all on the same club. So what they do, though, because you could see the guys in the interview here, the guys who were like doing the interviews about Joe Namath selling his soul, they make it seem cool. They always make it seem like, oh yes, remember that guy? He's like, oh, sign me up. Like, they're all making a joke out of it. They're all laughing about it as if it is a joke, but it's not. They're talking about it seriously, but they have to put some humor in it so that you don't think it's legit, so that you think this is just entertainment. But it's not. They're talking legitimately, and they're making jokes about it to desensitize you that these things actually happen. And again, they try to make Satanism, and it's not just these guys here. I mean, it's in general. In Hollywood is the most prevalent, as you see the Olympics that just happened. We see it. They are making satanic stuff mainstream. They're making it cool. They're making the devil and Satan and wickedness cool, and they're making good and purity seem bad. They're literally inverting the world. They are inverting the way you view things. They're making good seem bad, bad seem good, right is wrong, wrong is right, male is female, female is male, right? Things that don't make sense. But people were accepting it because they have us psychologically up here in a trap. And until people can come out of it, until people can realize that they're getting played by that small 1%, no matter what your friggin' political affiliation is or what you believe, we're all in the same boat if you're not a multi-billionaire. Anyway, this is your best friend, Justin. I hope I said something to stimulate thought here, and this is mainly made for entertainment, but there's a lot of truth in this. So, anyway, let me know what you think, and if you're a Jets fan, sorry to tell you, but this year's not our year. Have a good one, everyone.